Hello and welcome to Nothing to Wear. Leigh here. Today I'm joined by someone who's usually behind the scenes, but I've admired her career and style for years. Her name is Eliza Nielsen. She's kind of my boss. She's currently the head of content here at Mamamia, but her fashion credentials stretch far beyond our office walls. So I'm going to pick her brain all about her unique global perspective on everything from micro trends to sustainable fashion and where she thinks the fashion media landscape is going next.
You have to do it. You live for fashion.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
You're kind of my boss.
Yeah.
And you're very behind the scenes.
Yes, which is where I normally like to be.
But you are very fashionable and stylish, which we'll get into in a moment. But before we do, I always ask first-time guests the same two questions. So firstly, can you describe your style in 3 words, and what are they?
Oh, I actually hate this question.
Me too.
Because you just sound very up yourself. But
You know what? Once I had a guest and one of their words was constipated. Because it didn't come naturally to her. She had to do a lot of planning and thinking.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, mine's not constipated. I think I would say maybe like non-ego as one word.
Explain that, please.
In that I don't really care that much about brands. I just like a look and I'm happy to play with high and low.
This is why you're on the topic that we're about to talk about, because that's exactly what you do.
Yay.
What else?
I think I would also say classic.
Mm-hmm.
But
not Chanel ballet flat classic. You're more like...
with a bit of a twist.
Yeah.
So, yes, and then my third word would be potentially daring.
Love it.
Which feels a bit
But that's,
of a
I think,
juxtaposition
when you
to
marry the
classic.
classic and the daring, that is what you like. They kind of opposites attract, and that's how you get your unique style.
Yeah, that's nice. Thank you.
Now, most people wear a small portion of their wardrobe a lot. So 10% of their wardrobe, 90% of the time, is the rough stuff. So what's in your 10% that you reach for more than the other stuff?
Yeah, so I think this is really interesting because I actually do think I probably wear about 30% of my wardrobe.
You wear a lot. Well, not that I've been to your wardrobe, but I feel like you don't just wear things once, but I see you mixing and matching items like in different ways. So I think you must wear more than 10%.
Yeah, I think it's also because our workplace, you can really express yourself here, and I will have lots of client meetings. So I don't really ever want to wear the same thing all the time.
As in the whole same outfit.
Exactly. So I would say if it's weekends, oversized tee with little kind of rugby or boxer shorts.
Cute.
With socks and like Sambos.
What kind of socks?
Oh, yeah, like slightly long.
Okay, you're cool.
You can see them. Always have a chunky gold necklace. Always have chunky gold hoops. I will always wear that. Always wear bodysuits.
What do you mean?
I'm not Beyonce, like marching around in a leotard, but I love a bodysuit.
Like as a foundation
Like
of an
I'm
outfit?
wearing one right now, if you can see. What I love about a bodysuit, I think everyone should own them. I find them very comfortable to wear, but they just give you such a good line. I think it elevates looks.
And then you don't have to really worry about the tucking in because it's tucked in under your bits.
And it's tucked in nicely.
Yes.
So I often wear bodysuits. I'll have quite a few. So then you can wear them with jeans. You can wear them with, like, I'm wearing a suit today. And I honestly believe they really elevate your looks. Skims are great because they just also fit your body. They're so comfortable. And Kmart also have a really good range of bodysuits. They're high neck.
And for people that want to look into Skims, you don't have to order from overseas. They sell them at David Jones if you want to go try.
Yeah, so anyway, I love Skims.
Bodysuits.
But also, like, I will wear suits and lots of jeans and lots of blazers.
Well, the reason you're here is kind of to talk about how you do mix it up, because this is why I asked you to come on the show. You said, no, I'm behind the scenes. I said, please. You said, okay. So you've had many past lives, like career-wise. They're all kind of related in a way. Editor at Vogue Scandinavia, no big deal. Before that, you're in magazines like Madison and Shop to You Drop. We were both at Shop to You Drop, though different times.
Yeah.
Worked in the same building. And now you're head of content at Mamamia, like massive. Thank you for giving us an hour of your time, half an hour of your time. So with all of that, you obviously have a passion, which is women and telling stories and what content they want to know about. Why does that interest you, and has it always interested you?
Yeah, I think I always loved telling stories. Like, I would sit down my sisters and my brothers and I would tell them stories. I'd also style them. So like from a very young age, it was always about storytelling and
dress-ups.
And dress-ups. But I think I started off as a sub-editor at Madison Magazine. So my first job was writing the copy for all the fashion pages. So
can you explain what a sub-editor does for those that don't know? Because it's kind of a dead
it is
art.
Now, I know. So the sub-editor used to, well, they still do. They still exist. But a sub-editor would read all of the stories, make sure the grammar, make sure it was all correct, make sure it was written well, would edit copy. We'd come
and have to take out, like if there's the word count's too big and it's got to fit on a page. I used to fight with my subs all the time and they're like, you're waffling on, this is sharper.
That red pen, I was the red pen, and we'd come up with headlines, we'd come up with captions, but what I loved about the job was I would work really closely with the fashion team, and a lot of the stylists, they're not necessarily trained writers, so I get to write all their pages. So I would get to write about trends. I worked with, some of the best fashion stylists in Australia, and so I would sit with them. They would say, this is what's happening on the runway, this is the trend, now you go write about it, to like fill the beautiful pages. So that's where I started really like learning about fashion, because I would sit with those really good editors and they would then teach me how to shop the runways, what trends to buy, what trends not to buy, ones that would stay around. And so I loved that, but I also just love that women are so multifaceted. Like, fashion is also such an important part of culture. It's such an important part of history, and what you wear really, really can like send messages. Like you look at Taylor Swift, there's Easter eggs in her clothes. You look at like Melania Trump, what she wears. Like,
literally what she says on her jacket.
Exactly. So I think that tie with fashion and culture has always really interested me. And it's really fashion is really powerful.
It is. And I think, we don't judge a book by its cover, but what you wear does present you to the world in a certain way, and that's not about spending a lot of money or, having to have a particular style. I love that everyone's unique, and that's why I wanted to have you here, because I think whether you meant it or not, you've really nailed personal style. When I think of you, you have a personal style that's not like anyone else I know, but not in a weird, wacky art teacher way, or like you could be like, you just have the most unique personal style, and that's why I'm going to ask you some questions. In your career that we just discussed, you've witnessed the evolution of fashion and content from print, we were both at magazines, to digital, and then social media. Wow, we've been through a lot. So how has this transformation changed what women wear, do you think, and what you wear personally?
So I do really think you've seen through the years, fashion's gone from really aspirational to about personal style. I think, back in the day, you just did have the magazines, but the internet, and especially TikTok and I think YouTube as well. Now,
what about Instagram?
And Instagram, and Instagram, of course, but I'm thinking more video, like, the video-led platforms where anyone can be a fashion editor now.
Yes.
Anyone can, put out their own style. And it's also what I think's happened is now you can see people styling brands that you don't necessarily associate with fashion. The more like high street, but even just like more budget brands, and you can see people doing amazing things. So it's become a lot more accessible.
Agreed.
I think fashion's become a lot more accessible. It's kind of lost that polish, and it's more about the individual rather than this is the trend, we all must follow that now.
Yeah, it's so true. And I think also, social media is a double-edged sword in terms of sort of consumerism and thinking everyone's got heaps of stuff and you don't. But what I love about it is you can discover new brands or underground brands or small brands, or you can get ideas of how to put things together.
Yeah.
And that's how you wear more of your wardrobe than the 10%, which I feel like you absolutely nail. So again, that's why you're here. I absolutely love what you wear. I don't see you every day. You basically live in this office, but I don't. But every time I see you, you're not a mindless trend follower. You're stylish and quirky, and you might have some elements of trend, but you just feel like very individual, and you have quote unquote personal style. You also have interesting combinations or just unusual twists and accessories. So where does your style inspo come from?
I'm on the internet a lot.
Yeah.
Like
It's where you work.
It's where I work, but also I'm really inspired by the people around me as well. I love people watching. I think ever since I loved street style, like street style back in the day when it first started, like the Satirialist.
Oh my God, remember that?
Yeah, like Style Hunter. I loved street style. That was my thing. I just could scroll for hours. I also get really inspired by newsletters. I sign up to a lot of brands' newsletters.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so I love just going. If there's a brand I like, I will sign up to their newsletter straight away. And I just love going through my inbox. I find it so relaxing. And you're just like, okay, that's their new outfit. Okay, so that's kind of the look that they're going for this season. Oh, it's a little bit more laid back and effortless. And so you kind of know what everyone's doing that season, and then you can kind of start seeing it in street style and understand the pieces. And you can see also, like, a trend.
Yes.
If one newsletter, from the newsletters, you're like, oh, one brand's doing this skirt. Oh, that skirt's in every brand. Okay, so that's the skirt of the season.
You kind of follow the story.
Yeah, and I love the newsletter because it just comes to me. Yeah.
I save my EDMs, my newsletters, for Sunday mornings. So, back in the day, I used to go get the Sunday paper or read it at a cafe. And now I read my favourite newsletters in my inbox on a Sunday morning.
Yeah.
It's my Sunday paper.
I actually think it's so relaxing and fun.
Now, interestingly, over this career and over your life, you've lived in Sweden.
Yeah.
And then you kind of recently came back to Australia, 2 years ago now?
Yeah, nearly 2 years.
Nearly 2 years.
Yeah, nearly 2 years.
So what did you take from Scandinavian style? Because I feel like, I don't know, well, you tell me, how does it differ or how is it similar to Australian women and their style?
Well, so Scandinavians are a lot more dressed up than...
Really?
Yeah, I think Australians are a lot more easygoing and laid back.
Lazy?
Not necessarily lazy. It's more activewear in Australia.
Yes.
And in Sweden, I would wear my tights and get looks.
Yeah, so many other cultures
do not wear activewear.
Yeah, unless you're going to the gym.
Unless you're going to the gym, and even then you're wearing your jeans and you're changing at the gym and you're changing back into your jeans. I was very like tourist when I would wear my activewear, and then my friends would come and visit, and I'm like, do not wear your activewear, you're embarrassing me. But it was like clean lines, tailoring, but they also they master that art of that oversized, just that like hair oversized for everything. So the shirts, the tailoring, and I think, look, when you look at, I know you talk about like Copenhagen style a lot, but when you like the street style and what comes out of the fashion weeks is really colourful, but the everyday person, it is more your blacks and your neutrals.
A bit more toned down.
They are so good at layering. So
because of the weather?
Exactly, because of the weather. But like wearing a trench coat, it's so considered. Like in Australia, there's actually no need to wear a trench.
No. Well, but all you've got under it is a tee, but they've probably got knits.
They've got a great knit, but they know how to use the right fibres to layer so that you're not bulky. What they wear, it's so intentional and effortless.
That's what we all
lots
wanna
of
be.
tailoring, I would say.
Lots of tailoring, okay. And I feel like you brought that home with you because you do that very well.
Yeah, I definitely would never have worn a suit before I went to Sweden, and now I love a suit.
So speaking of your time there, I'm sure you've gathered some information and favourites from over there. So can you tell us a bit about your favourite Scandi brands or designers?
Yeah. So obviously love Acne.
I did not know that. I thought Acne was American.
No, yeah, they're Swedish. Very, very Swedish. So Acne is your jeans, that really cool street vibes. But one of the creators of Acne has also started 80s, which is great. Look it up. It's EYTYS.
Please hold. I Google everything in these shows.
Yeah, so
EYTYS.
Really cool. The website is actually down at the moment, which is sad, but you can see their stuff on, Farfetch.
And you can get it on Farfetch and SS Sense. I don't even know how to say that.
Yeah. They do really cool jeans, really cool boots, really cool. I love a rugby jersey.
Yes.
I was wearing one yesterday. They do cool rugby jerseys, cool bomber jackets, like just that street style cool, one of my favorites.
It's on the Iconic.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, amazing. I didn't even know that. But them, Love Stan Studios.
Love Stan.
Stand
Love
Studios.
Stan Studios.
STAND.
Yep.
And Studios. Perfect for, they do a leather, really, really good leather. So like great leather skirts, great leather jackets.
So it's an investment price point?
Yeah, investment price point. Incredible outerwear. So I have some really good fake fur coats. But it's so funny. I wear them to the office and everyone's like, oh, there's Miranda Priestley.
Yeah. And you're like, excuse me, I've got individual style.
Yeah, I'm from Scandinavia.
Yeah.
No, but so really incredible. Obviously, Anina being
love.
Everyone, I think that's very popular in Australia now. Obviously, Ganni, it's so fun. Ganni is also really good to buy secondhand because it lasts.
Okay.
I also look up Jade Cropper. That's the brand that all the cool girls are wearing.
The celebrities.
Yeah,
well,
the
I
celebs,
can't afford
like
it.
the Kardashians. It's also it's all that kind of draping.
All right, hang on, here I go.
The rounded shoulders, the asymmetrical bunching. I mean, it's...
Yes, look, a midriff is $469, but it's good to get inspo, like you say.
Yes, yeah.
You can sign up to the EDMs and the newsletters or just have a look.
Yeah, I think it's just also seeing the different styles because, then you go and you see, what's the dupe version?
Yeah.
And
it all trickles down, doesn't it? And some of these brands you can get here. I mean, obviously with the internet, mostly you can get everything here.
Yeah, you
but
can.
I want to talk about not just those brands, but sort of globally and in Australia, fashion trends.
Yep.
You've talked about how you kind of research them. What are your thoughts on them as a sort of a topic? Do you find they're moving too fast? Do you find we're calling everything a trend when it's a colour? Like what's, as a kind of head of content here, fashion and trends?
Yeah, I think it's moving pretty fast and it is really hard to keep up. And I just think sometimes it's just not worth keeping up. But I also think we label things that's just an item as a trend.
You.
So we'll go, it's this trend, and you're like, no, it's not. It's just one skirt.
It's cottage core this or cherry girl something, and I'm like, what? Like, it's just a nice red item. But it's great that there's a name, but it kind of makes it feel like then it goes in and out when really it's just a lovely red item that didn't need that label.
Yeah, that's new and fresh or a different take on something.
Yes.
So that's why I think it's always good to know. I love knowing what everyone's wearing right now, but I will happily tap out.
Love that. Okay, I want to ask you about the wear. So you work in the internet, as I say.
Yeah.
And you're almost always in the office when I get here. You basically live here. So do you mostly shop online? Do you shop IRL in real life? And either or, what are your go-to sites or stores?
I definitely always shop online. I'll have my brands that I love from newsletters. I love a big scroll on Dish. I love seeing what Dish is doing. Love the iconic. I think the iconic's great for when you have that specific piece and you want to know different price points.
So you use the filters to be like black,
black jeans,
price point
and then
this,
you see,
size.
And also, I just think the algorithm on the iconic's great in the sense that you find one piece and then you can see all the different versions of it in
clever.
Different prices. I always love to invest in swimwear because I just feel like in Australia you're often wearing it, and I love a bodysuit, so I can then use it. So like Bondi, I love their swimsuits, like Honza G, am I saying it properly? And then Ephemera. So like they're my three Ephemera. You've had Nicole on the show. Yeah.
I love her stuff.
I love a one piece, so I'll always invest there. But also I do that online because it's like I know my size and I know the brands. Love going to Vinnie's. I love it.
Me too.
Yeah, I love it. I love an op shop. Like I think you've said it before in the podcast. I find it relaxing. I find it like, I love a U-turn and a Vinnie's. So
and
if
the
I'm gonna
thrill.
Yes, it's such a challenge. It's so enjoyable.
It's generally more affordable, and also then you're saving something from landfill.
Exactly. I also look out for warehouse sales.
Oh, me too.
I think that's if you want to build out a classic.
Like quality
wardrobe, look out for the warehouse sales. They're actually really worth it.
And thankfully, a lot of brands now, because, people are rural or not always in Sydney or Melbourne, are doing them online.
The archive sales online.
Thank you.
So
I mean, you know what? I don't want to have to go and line up, or I can't, or it's in Melbourne. Pop it online.
Yeah.
We will buy it.
Yes. Yes. One thing that I really do with clothes is I often, when I'm shopping, I don't actually look that much at sizes. I actually get a lot of my clothes altered.
Do you?
Yeah.
That's expensive.
No, it's not. So I think it's not.
No, well, I guess it depends on.
If there's something you really like, it's good quality, it's going to you know if it fits better, you're going to wear it more.
Yes.
So that $10 or that $20 is actually worth it. So
Yeah.
that's why I can shop online, because
Yeah.
I often will go, okay, I'm going to get a bigger size and I will get it
tailored.
in.
You're quite tall. Do you have problems with pants?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Pants online is hard.
Yeah, good. I feel like it's your karma because, well, some tall people's karma, because I literally have this like that much taken off every pair of pants. Maybe that's why I think tailoring's so expensive.
Yeah, you have to do it for everything.
Maybe I'll give them to you and you can stick them to the bottom of yours.
Yes, thank you.
I agree, tailoring's worth it, particularly like you say, if you go to a warehouse sale or you buy something that's a good quality brand and, you know, maybe you've got it 70% off, yes, you might have to pay a little bit to get it tweaked, but then it fits you perfectly and you'll have it forever rather than buying, you know, 6 things that were $20.
Yeah, exactly. I think one really good example of this is I bought in a Marks and Spencer sale this beautiful tweed black dress that it looks like it's a Chanel dress. I didn't even look at this size. I got it perfectly tailored for me,
heaven.
and now it does look like a Chanel dress.
And it probably fits. And it probably fits you better than the way it would have fit if you bought it in your size, because you've had it made like
perfectly to you.
Also, I think on that point as well, just generally, forget the tailoring part, but just you've got to look at the size. But if you're shopping in real life, I always will take in 3 different sizes.
Yeah.
I might want it oversized. You know, some brands I know my size, but then if it's mid-rise or high-rise, you know, if you look at something and go, oh, that's not my size, just think of it as a garment, an item. Take a few to try on, or if there's a good returns policy online.
Yeah, always know the returns policy.
Always know the returns policy, but just, don't let that dictate or make you feel bad.
Yes, exactly.
You know, I literally have 15 different types of sizes in my wardrobe.
Oh, yeah. And all brands are so different.
So it's getting chilly now, and you live somewhere that got quite chilly.
Yeah, minus 23 degrees. Chilly. Yes.
Yikes.
Very cold.
So talk to me about winter dressing. Like, just give us some insights into what you learnt from over there or your vibes for now.
Yeah, it's definitely looking at the fabrics. It's getting those natural fibres so that then they're thinner, not bulky, so that you can layer. But my trick is to stick to the one silhouette rule. So either an oversized top with a thin,
slimmer
bottoms, or the reverse. Because otherwise it can just you can get quite chunky.
Because I'm not used to going to cold. If I ever travel to cold, I look like that marshmallow blow up man, because I'm just must stay warm.
Yeah.
Okay, so proportions.
Proportions is definitely one thing. And I just also think everyone should invest in a knitted sleeveless vest.
Oh, what do you mean?
You know, those waistcoat style.
I don't have one.
I'm going to show you.
Will you help
me?
me?
Do some good ones.
Okay.
But because they are perfect to put over a shirt. They are perfect.
Chic.
Yeah, so perfect over a shirt.
And then your arms are free to be a bit cooler or whatever.
Or you can just wear it by itself and it's still warm, because it's that knitted.
I've never thought
material.
of that item. Okay, I'm inspired
Yeah, so
by
I
that.
think about layering smart, not bulky.
Okay.
And really look at the fabric.
All right, my friend, on to Bougie and budget.
Yep.
I know you've got a lot to say, but I'm only going to let you do one, because I think
only one Bougie.
Oh, but one Bougie.
Okay.
Pick your Bougie.
I think I'm actually going to go with Nagnata's RYDELL shorts.
Ooh.
I know that we're going into winter.
Yeah.
And they'll be extremely
inappropriate.
Really inappropriate. But I love a good little mini short.
Okay, for the gym?
They're made of wool.
Yeah.
Have you seen Nagnata?
I've got a pair of their activewear shorts, which I love.
Yep.
When I'm active and when it's summer, which hasn't been either recently. I didn't know they did more loungewear.
Yeah, it's more loungewear-y. Looks really, really good with a shirt. So I would team it with a shirt, a gold chain, or it looks really good with an oversized tee and then your socks and your sneakers. So it'd be part of my weekend look.
How much?
It is $260.
For a pair of
shorts.
woolen undies.
For a pair of woolen undies. But you said I was allowed to do Bougie.
You
so
are,
that's
an
my
Aussie
Bougie.
brand, good quality, natural
Good quality,
fibres,
yeah.
approved.
Approved.
Okay, so my Bougie isn't that bougie. They are a pair of pants from an Aussie label called Moto Fashion.
Oh, I love these.
Well, I'm going to have to recommend the navy, because at the time of recording, the burgundy's sold out. They're called the navy faux leather pocket pants. I have the wine colour.
Yes, and I've seen you wear them, and they are incredible.
I love them. They're very comfortable. High-waisted, fly button, pockets at the front, but not that you'd put anything in them, and then sort of wide-ish, straight to wide-ish.
Yep.
So I'm not doing the tight leather or faux leather at the moment. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but they just are so comfortable. They're not cropped on me. They might be too short on you. They might be a bit cropped.
Yeah, I am a bit worried about that for me, but they look so good on
Honestly, I mean, they're $159.95, so not crazy, but you can get cheaper. But they're an Aussie brand. The navy's beautiful. Like, imagine the navy with the grey marl.
Yeah.
But I just love the burgundy. And they have a really good size range of 8 to 20.
Yeah, that's incredible.
It's so good. So check them out online and see if they do restock the burgundy. I have messaged them, so fingers crossed.
Yeah.
All right, budget, my friend.
So for my budget, I'm going with a Kmart piece.
Oh, yeah.
It is their long sleeve Oxford shirt. It is incredible. It comes in a few different colours.
How many people do you think in the office has that?
I think it's mandatory. Like you walk into the Mamamia office and you're actually handed one.
I honestly did not mean to have mine because I'm recording something later.
Isn't it great? But the quality of it is so good. It comes in a pink. It comes in a white.
Oh, it has a white?
It has a white. Have you not seen the white? The white's incredible. And, so you have that blue there.
Yes. I wore that and someone said to me, is that Loewe? And I was like, no, but it's very similar logo.
Yeah, but
25, 35?
I think it's 25. Yeah, $25.
I know.
I think it's perfect. It would go perfectly over the Nagnata shorts. The wool undies.
Yes.
Perfect over wool undies.
And even though it's kind of a medium weight and got that kind of Oxford shirt vibe, you could wear that over swimmers in summer.
Yes, yeah.
Shorts, leather pants. I'm obsessed. I love how I'm selling you on your own.
Yep.
My budget is a bag from Billini. It's called the Hazel handle bag. Full price at $79.95. At the time of recording, it's $47.
Wow.
But worst case, you're spending $80. So it's a mulberry kind of reddy burgundy patent.
Oh, that's incredible.
Now, can I tell you why I brought that? Because you have unique cool bags that I always ask you about, and this felt very Eliza.
Yeah, it does. I have a Ganni bag that looks very similar.
Okay,
to
maybe
that.
I had osmosis. It's just like shiny patent, which I find wears quite well if it's an affordable brand. Sometimes better than those cheap fake leathers. Bucket bag, cool buckle, like that looks designer.
I love the gold accent and I love how it's cinched in at the top.
Yes, and it's got little gold feet.
Yeah, the gold feet.
Maybe that will become the Kmart shirt bag of the office.
Yeah.
Eliza, I love you. Thanks for being the best boss. Thanks for always inspiring me with your style. And I hope you come back and join us again soon.
Oh, thank you. This was so fun. Thank you, Leigh.